Well, welcome to the Scaling Tech Dojo podcast. I'm your host, Mark Morman, and today my featured speaker is Michael Terry. He's the co-founder and president of Sanctuary Software Studio out of Northern Ohio, Northeast Ohio. They've been building software products since 1994. They're a multidisciplinary product development studio, co-founded and led by engineers. Their team brings together software, firmware, user experience, and cloud development under one roof, so clients work with one partner from concept through launch rather than coordinating across multiple vendors. So really enthused, excited to have you, Michael. And
Hey, great to be here, Mark.
yeah, give us a little about yourself, a little intro, and then
Great.
let's jump right in to about Sanctuary Software.
Awesome. Yeah. So we started back in '94. We actually started out as a video game development shop, which is where the goofy name came from. And we did that for a few years. We released the first title in '94. Got that published on CD-ROM, which was the way back then, and found out that that was a little too much like being in a rock band, and that everybody else made money on it. We did all the work, and the market was a little different back then. A lot of uploading to AOL and CompuServe and early stages of the web, where there wasn't as big a market. But we did see the internet kind of emerging in '94, '95, '96, and thought our combination of graphic design and software was going to be an emerging thing. And it obviously turned out to be a lot bigger than we thought, but it's kind of the direction we went in from there, with a lot of migrating from kind of the desktop software to more web centric software development, and working on the team there with combining kind of the graphic design and software development.
Excellent, great intro.
So from there, we went to obviously a lot of web systems, and then have kind of circled back more towards my roots, which are more on the embedded system side. I started out back in the day in Dallas working on digital cellular, and from there we've kind of migrated to mostly regulated systems. So a lot of aerospace, a lot of medical device, some defense, and we focus on kind of firmware, mobile, and cloud connectivity for devices, which everybody wants everything to talk nowadays, and everybody wants a mobile interface to their product.
Yeah, yeah. What tools and techniques do you find most effective?
Well, I mean, obviously, production-wise, we try to run an agile shop. We've kind of got our own version of that we've kind of organized, that allows us to balance across customers, as opposed to focusing on project teams. And tool wise, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. I kind of find it funny that I've been writing C code for 30 odd years, and that seems to be my life's work, especially on the embedded side. And then mostly native applications on mobile and Swift and Kotlin, and then on the web side, all over the place. But kind of our core stack there has been Angular, and then .NET on the back end.
Yeah. So what about hurdles, and what are some of the biggest hurdles that you currently or recently
Well, I
experienced?
mean, everything, the table's been thrown up in the air recently, I guess, by everybody's concerns about AI and seeing how that changes stuff. That's obviously the big one. Everybody is trying to figure out where that's going, and where it's going to get to. I like to think, there's two scenarios. There's one is it's just the same thing. This time is no different. So it's we've done things like drag companies from DOS interfaces to Windows, and then from Windows to Windows 95, 32-bit, and things like that. We worked with companies that transitioned from VMS, DEC stuff back in the day, to PC-based graphical interfaces, and then things on the web, and then the mobile transition. So again, it's change has always been our friend, and this time, and we think this time's the same, where AI is going to allow a lot more capabilities, a lot more opportunities. That being said, I guess nobody knows where it stops, and I guess that's the scenario you can't worry about too much, is that it's all going to make us obsolete and do everything automagically. So I'm not a big believer in that, but obviously somewhere in between, we're going to find out how the industry changes.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you're doing to stay ahead of the curve?
Ironically, I've been forcing myself to do a lot more AI generated work, especially on things that are non-critical. We've been really focused on putting together policies that, we've got a lot of proprietary information, so putting things onto the cloud in AI is a big no-no. So we've been standing up a lot of materials internally to support code generation and code evaluation. And that's obviously a big change of how we work. That's the most interesting thing to me is how different it is from traditional software development, and the same in that it's much more focused on if you're gonna do code generation like that, it's much more focused on accurate specification, much more on planning. And, the upside is that as an organization with 50 odd developers, it's a little similar in that if you can break down the task and supply it to the AI, like that's the same thing we've been doing in terms of feature development for decades. It just generates the results a lot faster and not quite as accurately yet.
Yeah. Hey, so back to your comment about agile. So what are your sprints like? Are they you know daily,
So
week?
like I said, we've got a kind of a modified system, and the reason being is that we get a lot of everybody is the most important customer, right? And we've got a team that's kind of split on a variety of projects. So we have what we call a ladders system, where some of the organizational priorities, from our standpoint, are surfaced by project leads and then we run very short sprints. We run weekly sprints and try to gather those up into a more of an epic 4 week kind of element. So really, once a month, we're doing a lot of the bookkeeping kind of sprint elements, reviewing artifacts, etc., doing the postmortems, but trying to keep a very short kind of assigned task schedule list. So it's kind of again, it's fun. We found it worked. We went to this probably I don't know 20 years ago, and I've adopted the system as we've gone to kind of suit our purposes. Um, Again, anytime you get teams much bigger than you can feed with a couple pizzas, things get out of control. So it's all about partitioning it into groups we can work with, I think.
Yes. I mean, 50 developers. You got that's what's the most challenging? Well, I guess um, what's the evolution there? What has that been like? Maybe you touched on that a little bit, but you
Yeah,
add there.
I guess our company structure has always been much more like an accounting firm or law firm or like a university department, in that we try to basically collect people who have some level of specialty in an area. They're the domain experts for that, and all different stages in the career. So it's a very flat organization, and we try to basically push out anything that's not a core element of software development from our organization and use that externally. So it keeps us very lean and tight on that front, but it does cause, again, some challenges in terms of corporate structure and those kinds of things. So it's very much, if you think of like, you think about how a law firm is structured, basically you've got a variety of lawyers, right? And they've got their different domains that they practice in. Very much the same here. We've got people who are really core mobile developers, people who are core on the embedded and electronic side, and then people who are kind of the cloud experts as well. So, and depending on the project, they get teamed up to provide the best kind of most productive outcome.
Yeah, you're touching on some quite a few disciplines there that uh,
That's a kind of a key element of our business is that if you needed 50 developers to do one thing, you would outsource that to somewhere else in the world or to a much larger organization that can do it a lot more inexpensively, right? But if you've got a case where you would normally outsource kind of this core development to India or something like that, when you've got a project with 5 people on it, you're better off with a smaller team of specialists than kind of a collection of a large number of people. Again, keeping the team small keeps it nimble enough to compete on productivity and cost.
yeah. So competing on productivity and cost. how about time to market? I mean, just I guess maybe that's where you're getting at productivity, huh? Is just being able to go and do it with a more with highly skilled, more skilled senior people, be able to go and do it faster. Is that the competitive advantage there?
Yeah, again, as long as the project's not too large, right? Like if we were building a new space shuttle or something like that, you're going to need hundreds of engineers. That's never going to work with a team of our size. But if it's just, we have a nice spot where we fit in, where you've got let's say a startup where you've got a core tech person. A tech person has a discipline that they're very knowledgeable about, but they don't necessarily know the other elements of it that well. For example, in a med device company, commonly, there's somebody on the scientific side who's very good with the software firmware that goes into the device. But when you talk about building the ancillary elements of the cloud or database systems or machine learning or other elements on it, that's where we can provide a lot of help to keep them moving quickly without again, you got a startup that's trying to, keep headcount reasonably under control, right? Because it's one person, five people wearing lots of hats. We can take some of those hats for them and take care of them.
Yeah. Hey, as far as on the AI development side, so are you uh, your differentiators? Is it the ability to handle a lot of different LLM integrations, RAG pipelines, agentic systems? I mean, where's your sweet spot? Or I mean, is it pretty wide?
Well, traditionally, it's been on the machine learning side in terms of model development or applications with people in specialized kinds of systems. Now that LLMs have kind of emerged, that's growing into a kind of a newer application that has some limited applications for medical devices, etc. Like for example, working with a company called VendorBot that is basically a support tool for medical devices. We'll see how that's able to provide a kind of a 24/7 connectivity augmented by kind of human device reps. So that is it's kind of a blend product in between where you can get some basic support and information out of it uh, and provide more 24/7 access, and then really gives you the other piece of it is it gives you a kind of an emergency call line, so that if you need somebody to give you the right answers, it can route that to the right person as fast as possible. So it's again, if you think of it like level one tech support, level two tech support, level three tech support. At some point, you want to talk to somebody who's got the real answers, but a lot of questions can be handled routinely. And again, as those are collected and triaged, you can come up and improve the responses from the AI system. So we're seeing a lot of that kind of support element emerging and being more useful. We are doing some agent work and seeing how that really provides some automation. We worked with a couple of startups that have been really, I think, pretty innovative in it, in that they do a lot of their, they've already, from the ground up integrated their grunt work into the system being done automatically. A lot of summarization, etc. So data normalization, a lot of web scraping, things like that. Since they're new, the way they've thought about it is an AI first mechanism, and I think there's a lot of opportunities there that are going to emerge as people think about better. It's a better way to do a lot of simple things.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, just a different track here as far as just client acquisition. I mean, how do you currently acquire, new clients?
Traditionally, we've always worked with what we call feeder kind of clients, in that people are going to refer additional work in the future. So we're kind of in this. We're very implementation focused. So the pipeline of a project that we work on is going to start off with either a startup getting funding from a venture capitalist, or them basically getting in a medical device chain where they're ready to do an implementation. Once the science is done, it's time for the engineering. So those are the spots we kind of step in. So a lot of product ideation companies, a lot of marketing firms, a lot of VCs kind of refer projects to us has been traditionally how we've found work. We have been taking more of an initiative to get out there and get in front of people and talk about our product. But we're very consultative sales driven, so we really need to understand the problem, because we're not like I say, we're a tactical company, not a strategy company. You got to know where you want to go, and we can really help you get there by applying different engineering elements to the project. So it's very hard to just say, hey, we need to know the problem before we can sell the solution. To combat that, we've tried to standardize some of our elements, especially on the cloud side, such that it's an easier to understand for people what we bring to the table, which is kind of a best in practice, semi off the shelf solution, and that's a lot easier for them to envision how that helps them out.
Yeah. So so what's your typical sales cycle, look like for your
Um,
projects? Does it depend? I guess maybe it depends on project, but what's the average typical sales cycle?
I would say it's on the order of a few months. Oh, we do get and that's a good sales cycle for us. Like, it allows us to understand the problem, work with the customer to come up with a plan, and move it along. So usually, from initial contact to kickoff is in the 2 to 3 month phase. The other ones we run into is people who have a problem, who are in a desperate situation, and those are the fast sales plan, where they're already got a mess on their hands, and the calendar's disappeared on them. So we're trying to figure out how to recover.
Yeah. So are you exploring new ways to scale your sales efforts or optimize your outreach to potential clients?
Yeah, definitely. We've gotten some more cold calling elements that we, basically trying to get out in front of more people who are in the industry and tracing along and finding where they're at in their development pipeline to see where we can step in. So a lot more kind of business intelligence, a lot of more searching for potential clients and trying to get in front of them. Uh, all that's been pretty manual. I think the with the like this podcast, for example, it was semi-automated how we connected, which was an interesting thing to me to see that work that well.
Yeah, we that's one thing that just off the record we could I can explain, take 10 minutes and tell you how that is done. Another time, take 10 minutes. But hey, so as far as just looking at operational efficiency and innovation, what you'd mentioned some of the tools, but as far as efficiency tools, processes or tools you use to ensure good collaboration, between development, design, visualization, any particular processes or tools that you found most effective so far?
Um, yeah, and I guess whenever you're a mature company, at some point you build the software that matches your how you operate the business. We've spent a lot of time on that, putting together kind of a electronic version of our system, and this is really kind of manages our timekeeping, project allocation, kind of staffing, all those kinds of things in a very visible way. So we put a lot of time into that. It's one of those things where we basically took it and built it, open sourced it, threw it on GitHub, and we'll see if anybody else picks it up and tries to use it. But again, once we've always found our build the process and then try to automate that process.
Yeah. Well, just as far as future goals, if you get fixed just one thing in your business that you feel like is holding you back or slowing you down, what would that one thing be?
Well, it's always been a challenge to match growth with developing talent. So that's one of those things that we're very slow to hire, very slow to fire. Um, we don't, there's nothing tougher than laying somebody off who's doing a good job, and so you got to manage finding work and then developing people. So that's the biggest challenge, and I don't think that's ever going to really change as being the biggest challenge.
Yeah. So just keeping, I guess you got to keep abreast of what those new tools, new skills, and then do a gap assessment and find out those people that are that want to go out and learn those new skills or skill them up, right? Yeah. What about key metrics? What kind of metrics are you most focused on to improve, in the coming months across your services, that you can share with us, share with your audience?
Um, we're trying to think. Again, I think with the AI is going to definitely speed up general code throughput. So we're trying to see how we can accelerate development to keep pace.
So metrics, what kind of metric would that be?
Um, I guess total time to kind of on project should be going down.
Yeah,
We expect, based on our historical work, things should move faster.
yeah. Well, good. This has been great, Michael. Where can listeners find out more, about your company and your work?
They can obviously find us on the website, find us on LinkedIn, and then we actually are doing number of talks about AI performance, etc. So we'll be at Pi, Ohio, and Northeast Ohio AI groups talking about how to implement stuff.
Alrighty. Well, I tell you what. So again, I thank you for this has been great, good insights in regards to sanctuary and the industry. And so what I'll do is I'll put together when I finish this, put together the podcast. I'll put this out. Get a copy of the raw footage to you, as well as I'll also have some clips, some snippets to share with you. But one thing I do like to do for all the people that speak on my podcast is I put together an AI playbook, and if you'd be open to doing to doing that, take 10 minutes, like I was saying earlier about as far as that particular area, as far as client or lead gen, really, I'd be happy to go and like get that on our calendar. Um, or would you be open to that?
Sure. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, what's your calendar look like um, this week or next?
What's I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. What are you thinking next week?
Yeah, that's the first week in May. Um, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it this time a week from today, if you like, or earlier, or Tuesday. Um,
Well, that sounds. So you're saying 5 o'clock Monday, the 4th?
yeah,
Perfect.
that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go and get this invite out here. Yeah, I'm just in the middle of getting this. I didn't have my Zoom meeting here. Let me go and I'm grabbing it here. There it is. I'll get rid of that Google Meet. That thing always, I need to go and just to permanently delete that. All right, so I've got from 5 to 5:30 Sanctuary Software, Michael and Mark. I've got your email, the Zoom link in there, and so it is in invite all guests. Good. It should be in your inbox in here momentarily.
Excellent.
And so I'm going to go ahead and stop our